Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope everyone has had a great week so far. My week has been pretty good, busy as always, but pretty good. So I'm back again with another video on our Mastering the Basics series, and still talking about sleep. And this is our third video on sleep. The first video was about three things you can do in the morning to assist with better sleep at in the evening. The second video was about three things that you can do in the evening to make sure that you get a good night's sleep when you go to bed that night. And today's video is going to be about your sleep environment, right? So the actual environment that you're sleeping in. So um, many times there's some simple things that we can do to optimize where we are sleeping and to assist us with getting some better sleep. So these are kind of three things that I think are not very fancy. They don't require a ton of money. Most people can easily control them for the most part. And there are some other like cheap things that you can use to assist you in this, and maybe even some more expensive things that can assist you in making some of these things a little bit better as well. But uh, really, the level of investment here is not terribly expensive. And the first one is actually very much something you can do for free. It's just a habit and more of a mindset around your sleep that's important here. So the first thing has to do with associations, and that's making sure that you associate your bedroom with sleep and nothing else, right? So our brain is very good at associations, right? We see, hear, or explore the environment around us with the senses, and we make connections with our senses and what's happening around us. So, a good example might be if you enter a certain restaurant or you smell a certain type of food or whatever, your senses of hunger might get go through the roof, right? You might all of a sudden become super hungry. You might crave a certain food or whatever else, right? Your senses can trigger certain things, right? And so uh, your your association with what you use your bedroom for can also play a strong role in what your brain perceives you should be doing at that time, right? So if you are watching a lot of TV and like stimulating TV in your bedroom, well, when you go into your bedroom, your brain might start associating with, all right, I'm going to get, I'm going to have a bunch of stimulating stuff from the TV thrown at me. Or if you work in bed and you do a lot of very stressful work at that time, you might get in bed and your brain might associate the thing that you're about to do with some stressful situation that might be happening because you're always dealing with work situations in bed. And so you start to stress out about that, right? And so what we want to do is associate the bedroom with pretty much only thing is sleep, right? So when you step into that environment, when you step into your bedroom, your brain automatically realizes that this is a place where I go to sleep, and so I want to go to sleep here, and it gets you starts getting everything in motion to go to sleep, right? So that's the first thing, right? I think a lot of us do use the bedroom for our office, for our theater room, for entertainment, for all kinds of different things, and so our brain starts to associate the bedroom with all these different things that really aren't very conducive to getting a night's sleep. And if we switch that so that we only use the bedroom for what it's really meant for, and that's for sleep, we can pretty much just automatically trigger ourselves to get ready for sleep as soon as we walk into that environment. So that's my first tip is keep the bedroom for sleep and pretty much nothing else. The next has to do with stimulus around you while you're trying to sleep. So um, we want to have an environment that is dark and quiet, right? It seems kind of obvious, but I think so many of us today have all kinds of different electronics in our bedrooms that it's very easy to get a lot of just subtle lights flickering, not even from lights outside, but lights inside our bedroom. So if you have any kind of lights that are inside your bedroom, they could be super small, like a light from an alarm clock, or a light from a TV, or a light from some kind of smart device that might be in your bedroom. Whatever it might be, any kind of light is is probably not going to be so beneficial to you. So if you can do whatever you can to remove all types of lights from your room, that includes your alarm clocks, that includes a light that might be shining from a TV or a DVD player or a CD player or whatever. Like electronics are just notorious for having like little small LED lights on them, right? So we want those lights to be completely off, right? And one easy solution is, if you can't really remove the thing, is to just put a little piece of tape over the light, if it's a small light or whatever. We talked about removing like alarm clocks from the side of the bed, so you're not looking at the time and stuff like that. So any kind of bright alarm clock you probably want to remove anyways. They do make alarm clocks that don't just display light these days, like they can make sounds and they can stimulate you to wake up with light and stuff like that, that don't have an LED light that are shining in your face all night long. So removing anything like that, any kind of light from electronics is a great first start. Um, Blocking out light from outside of your environment, outside the windows, is also going to be really good if you live in a place where at night there are street lights or building lights or whatever that can come in. So finding some way to block them out. I mean, it could be as, you know, you could get as cheap as like finding some kind of crappy blanket you have lying around that really blocks all light and just hanging up over the window. May not be the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but it can be effective nonetheless. Or you can get super fancy and like get like light blocking curtains and special curtains and stuff like that. I know I tend to have a problem with light coming in the room when I travel, if I'm in a hotel in a city or whatnot. Like I do my best to make sure those curtains are super closed, nice and tight at night. That's also kind of the spot where you can find like electronics that have lights shining in on you all the time in the room. So like I do my best to unplug things that I can unplug and just block light from things. I might put a pillow over something if I can't block it or whatever, just to block the light, that type of thing. And you want to make it as quiet as possible. So eliminate as much noise as you possibly can. It's I know it's not always controllable. Like if you live in a city environment, there's going to be noise. Some people get used to the noises. Some people just can't. But if you find that there are things that are waking you up at night, just trying to make it as quiet as possible is going to be good. And you can play around with using headphones or earplugs or stuff like that. I'm not sure how safe it is to sleep with them in your ears, but trying to make it somewhat quiet is pretty good. I do think that like the use of like sound machines are okay. That can help drown out some of the outside noise. So that might be something to look into. I do like to have personally like the hum of a very quiet hum happening in the background, whether that's a fan or something else like an air conditioner or something like that. That can be somewhat soothing to me, so I don't mind that. They make sleep machines and stuff like that you can check out if you do like to have some kind of noise. But that can also be useful for blocking out like surrounding noises around, that might be outside your window and stuff like that that are outside of your control. So that might be something to think of as well. And the last thing that you want to pay attention to is temperature. I think if you live in a seasonal climate, you understand the effect that temperature can have on your sleep. For me, as we head into springtime and into summertime, the heat can kind of be very disruptive to my sleep. So the hotter it gets, the more conscious I have to be about temperature. I prefer to sleep in cool, and actually, most people find that having a cooler sleep environment is better. In fact, we want our body temperature to lower at night so that um, it's shown that we can better drift off into sleep. And there's lots of fancy devices that you can buy that have these that assist with that. There's things like the Chili Pad and Uller. And you have Eight Sleep is another new brand, but these are just pads that you put on your mattress that circulate cold water or temperature controlled water through on top of the mattress that helps cool your body down to assist in better sleep. And they legitimately work. Like I have one, and it is as good as it says it is. I love it. Um, But that's not necessary, right? So we can have we just need to be mindful of the environment that we sleep in. Can we make it as cool, or I shouldn't say as cool as possible because some people just don't prefer cool, but a temperature that you find comfortable to sleep in, right? So if you can somehow keep it from getting too hot or too cold, and just controlling that temperature in a way that, whether it's through blankets or fans or air conditioners or whatever, fancy devices like a eight sleep or a chili pad, just make it so that your temperature in the room that you're sleeping in is conducive to whatever you find comfortable for sleep, essentially. um, and that's going to help, right? We know that if we're too hot or too cold, that sleep just goes out the window. So trying to control that temperature as best to your ability is the last in my tips of sleep here in my environment. So just to review, number one is make sure that the bedroom is associated with nothing else but sleep. So no work, no television watching, no uh, playing games or anything like that. The bed is just for sleep and nothing else, and that's going to help immediately stimulate your brain to get ready for bed as soon as you enter that environment. Make the room as quiet and dark as possible to the best of your ability. Use whatever tips or tricks you can come up with that, whether it's a white noise machine, eye mask, earplugs, uh, blackout shades, whatever. Try to make it as dark and as quiet as possible. And then finally is make sure the temperature is something that you find comfortable to sleep in, not too hot, not too cold, but just right for you. That allows your body to drift off into sleep. And with that, those are my three tips for the sleep environments. And if you've been enjoying the series and want to keep up with everything that I'm putting out in the Mastering the Basics series, please go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. You can do that by scanning that QR code right at the top of your screen there. I'll bring you right to the page to sign up. If not, you can go to rjbhealth.coach, click on the newsletter tab at the top, and enter your email address and join my newsletter, and send you all the videos that I put out and blog posts and etc. on a weekly basis right to your inbox. And if you do need help with some of the stuff, some of the things that we've been talking about, you need some more one-on-one help, I do have a spot open on my one-on-one coaching list. So if you're interested in that, you can again go to my website, rjbhealth.coach, click on the schedule discovery call button right at the top of the page, and you can fill out the form, and I'll get back to you and we can chat a little bit more about one-on-one coaching. With that, I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll talk to you all next week.